the Serpents, and the God. The parade was the second place image my Dragon tier patrons voted on. I may finish all of them, I may not. We'll see how things develop. Something to keep in mind with this video series, nothing you see is guaranteed to be final. These early days are all about discovery. Illustrations like this help me to collect a bunch of thoughts, ideas, and themes into one place so that I can sit back and consider them. Right now I'm thinking about what does it mean to live in a world where physical gods dominate? In this image, denizens of a second-story serpent den watch as a Nephilim is carried down a street of adoring worshippers. I'll be packing a lot into it, so I'll be building it up in layers, starting with these sculpted pillars. They both show victims of serpents, one being constricted, the other being devoured. The patrons of this establishment consume a concoction that includes snake venom. What its effects are, I'll leave to the viewer's imagination. But business is booming. A giant serpent is having its venom milked by two servants. Thankfully, they keep the giant creature docile with other substances. They just need to make sure they don't forget to administer them, or they'll lose all of their precious clients. I've said elsewhere that the thumbnail sketch is really where most of the heavy lifting is, and everything else is just execution. Using the small pencil drawings as my foundation, I try to get even more specific about each character's pose using these simple skeletons. It's easy to change things up and move elements around to suit the composition, but without that sketch to start, I'd be working in the dark, which would make it easy to get lost. This Nephilim may be one of the biggest I've drawn yet. I'm trying to find where my lines are. Is this going to be too big, or will this work? So far, I'm inclined to think it works, but this is kind of a standalone image. Ultimately, the most important guiding principle for pushing past my own boundaries will be, does this tell the story? For the purposes of this illustration, it's fine, but I would imagine characters at this scale will be very rare. As usual, once the poses are figured out, I can start building up the figures. For simple poses, I can just sketch away, but for the more complex poses, I have to get really academic, sketching more detailed skeletons so that I can figure out where muscles are supposed to go. It's important to periodically critique yourself. Flipping the canvas gives you a fresh view of what you've drawn and makes your mistakes pop out like sore thumbs. For the servant holding the giant serpent's head, I didn't think he looked like he was putting enough weight into it, so I curved his torso out. Now it looks like he's really pushing down. There were a lot of other little edits here and there, things that felt imbalanced or that needed a more confident touch. I've always admired artists that can convey a sense of mass and volume, so I'm really trying to make sure that that comes through. Once the figures are drawn, I can get more specific about costume. Similar to how figuring out where the skeletons are helps me to place muscle groups, figuring out the figures helps me add costumes with more confidence. I don't like it when costumes ignore the body underneath. Even when much of the figure becomes obscured, knowing where the body begins and ends helps it to feel more believable. In principle, these are simple costumes. Loose, flowing fabrics for the clientele. They've paid to enjoy their time consuming venom, for whatever reason, and they'd like to be as comfortable as possible while doing it. The servants are adorned with snake-themed materials and jewelry, coiled armbands, snake skin wrappings, and they have their ears pierced with fangs. The Nephilim's hair is braided into horns and capped with gold spikes. He's going to be proud of his impressive physique, so I kept his costume pretty minimal. On his shoulders, he has huge dermal piercings meant to evoke dragon scales. With the figures penciled in, I went back to add a few narrative details. To imply the celebratory parade below, I added tall banners hanging from standards, shaped like the Nephilim's hair horns. I also wanted to make sure the serpent den lived up to its name, so I made sure to go around and add them wherever I had a free space. With the pencil stage sufficiently solved, it was on to inks. From the thumbnail, to the pencils, to the inking stage, it's like stacking confidence. Each stage helps to provide runway for the next. While the inking unfolds, I wanted to remind you of 3 things. First, click all the usual YouTube buttons for me. It turns out that actually helps. Like everyone else, I used to roll my eyes when people would say that kind of stuff, but now that I can see YouTube's guts, I kind of get it. It really does help. Second, I work on this project in my spare time. From beginning to end, this image took me 6 hours, broken up over a few evenings. Eventually, I hope to be able to put 8 hours a day into this project, and then many more in the future. If you're one of those people that believe in supporting the projects you believe in, and if you believe in this project, consider clicking the link in the description and joining me on Patreon. Heck, you can just go sign up for free and then think about it for a couple years. Finally, if you'd like to support me and also get a story of adventure, romance, heroism, and the transformative power of fathers out of the deal, you can pick up a copy of my previous story, Tellurian. You can find it through my website, again, link in description. Thanks for hearing me out. Now, the inking nears completion. I love reaching this point because it's the first time I really feel like I can see the finished product in my head. With the inks complete, I can add the flat colors. I typically skip over this portion because I don't really have anything terribly interesting to say about it. This is just dropping in the diffuse color for everything. It's the starting point that all future color decisions will be based on. Right from the thumbnail, I knew I wanted everything in the den to be in shadow, while the street would be bathed in sunlight. Everything in the foreground was darkened and given a subtle blue tone, and everything in the background was kept light and given a warm cast. This stage really feels like balancing stones. Lightening and darkening layers, adding light and haze to help the silhouettes to read clearly, and to create an inviting sense of depth to the image. So I realized I accidentally forgot to unpause my recording while I was polishing up this Nephilim. My bad. I shaded him, but I also wanted to pull in some clown motifs, giving him high contrast striped tattoos and red bloodstains. I also darkened his eye sockets and nose to subtly evoke a skull. At this point, it was time to add reflections to the metal. This stage is always satisfying, as it helps all the metal and glass to pop. I made sure to add some reflections on the giant's metal teeth. He blew up, but he's frightening enough that he doesn't have to act like he don't know nobody. The difference between the bright exterior and the shady interior required a lot of push and pull. To connect them a little more, I added a few spots where a bit of light was passing through thin fabric. Some falling flower petals helped to push the parade feeling. And finally, I duplicated all the line work layers to help the lines read more clearly. So here it is. Venom drinkers watch on in a daze as a colossal Nephilim god is paraded past their darkened den. You can help this project. Click the buttons, leave a comment, go to my website, buy a book or a print, follow me on stuff, sign up on Patreon. Thank you all so much for the support you've already shown. It's been overwhelming. And a special thank you to my Dragon Tier patrons. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.